I'm an American living in India, and over here Interstellar has made as big a splash in some circles of the movie-going public as it has back home. So today I thought I'd take a look at Interstellar from an international perspective on this maiden voyage of the Holly Bolly review. First, the good stuff. Number one, the production design. Even if you dislike where the movie ends up going, the integration of direction, production design, and post-production is as good as it can get. Everything feels solid, feels as real as a sci-fi space movie can, in my opinion. And the film is worth watching for the first hour and 40 minutes alone because of the stellar execution in production design, or in this case, Interstellar. Number two, Nolan is my type of filmmaker because he's a man of ideas. He presents consumable art that challenges the viewer to think, which is difficult in a blockbuster vehicle. And he carries on this trend with Interstellar. Interstellar challenges anti-science populism with a great parent-teacher meeting scene that doesn't feel like a sermon and will get people on all sides of the science-faith divide nodding in agreement in a pro-science way, unless you happen to be a total conspiracy theory nut job. Number three, believability, at least until a certain point in the movie. So many science fiction films jump the shark when it comes to going where no one has gone before. And while Interstellar has problems, as we shall see, there's a procedural attention to scientific detail that earns this sort of credibility so that when you get to the where no one has gone before moment in the film, it really feels earned. Whether or not what happens after that moment is earned is a bit more subjective. It worked for me, but I can totally understand why it wouldn't work for others, which brings us to the problems with the film. One of Nolan's weaknesses has been an inability to cover over seams in plot and character development that repeated viewings bring out. And you can actually notice these during the first viewing of Interstellar. So the first problem are these character/plotting issues. For instance, the smartest woman in the world never gets over this daddy issue of her dad leaving her to save humanity. Like, I can understand that as a kid. Kids have had to deal with this for millennia, right? Dads going off to war and stuff. Your dad isn't just going off to save your country, he's going to save the human race. Like, what? 12-year-old, I can understand that, but the smartest woman in the world, really? It just wasn't sold for me, and Jessica Chastain was wasted wallowing on screen as a passive B-plot protagonist, forever whining and doing her impression of the Mark Wahlberg pout from The Happening. And it's a shame to waste that character and that actress on such frivolous lack of development. And then there's the whole thing with her brother. That quasi-villain turn in the last act is just such a mess. We'll get to that final act in a minute. Number two, it's too long. I said this about Inception, I'll say it again here. Fixing the script is irrefutably the cheapest part of fixing a movie. Spend an extra couple $100,000 fixing the script before you go to production so you don't have to spend $30 million shooting scenes that should end up on the cutting room floor. There's way too much in this film that just doesn't need to be there. You're just burning money for your artistic self-indulgence. Fix the script, please. Which brings me to a recurring problem that I think Nolan has, and that is number three, the Christopher Nolan third act fumble. The final act is really where the writing needed work. The bookcase reveal scene played like a Bollywood film twist. We get flashback after flashback after flashback, and it's like, guys, do you remember this? Book fell off, do you like remember that, dude? Yeah. I mean, it was like 100 years ago, but have a little bit of faith in your audience. Like, I totally remember that, and I don't need to see it 25 times. And it just keeps going, like that stupid van in Inception, falling forever, interminably. Is this movie going to end? Still bitter about that. This is the third act. Quit grandstanding. We don't have time for this. This is where your script needs to be tight. This is where it needs to be taught. This is where it needs to be memento following. This is where your combined skills as a brother screenwriting directing duo need to come together. This is lazy. This is lax. Please quit extending the tension past the breaking point. Now some cross-cultural / humanities considerations. India makes a cameo in Interstellar with a drone that is lauded by Cooper as great tech. Otherwise, it's a white people show pretty much. There are a few people of color represented in the film. And there's a great turn by David Gyasi. There's a few moments with him that are really brilliant, and one especially that is pretty heartbreaking. The movie does pass the vegetable test for you feminists out there by the skin of its teeth. I think there's like one line about kid being sick or something. And what really frustrates me is that Jessica Chastain, once again, was just wasted. Again, she's too good to waste on the treacly material given to her here. Hathaway's character I thought was good, actually, and you know, there's the star-crossed lover thing. I don't know, you could kind of do with that. It's like, oh, she has to go to space to find her lover. Like Like, why can't a woman just go out to space because she wants to go out to space? But at the same time, that did give her opportunity to kind of elaborate on love as a potential trans-dimensional path or something like that. I actually like that little line that she delivered, which is a lot of the underpinning of what happens in the third act. I can understand why it didn't work for people, but I actually liked that. So I liked her character. I thought it was pretty good. From a cross-cultural / humanities perspective, Interstellar is basically an America, if yeah, protagonist with a star-crossed astronautess sidekick, little girl in pigtails, token black dude genius, and a Desi rocket. Could be worse. It could be a movie like Oblivion with Tom Cruise, which is just basically all hail and worship the white savior Tom. About equal with Prometheus, but nowhere near as cross-culturally aware as, say, Snowpiercer. That Snowpiercer, man, I'm telling you. Overall star rating in a movie critic sort of way. I give Interstellar 3.5 out of 5 stars. What worked was great. What didn't was distracting. We don't need distraction when so much of this film is so very good. And I just keep thinking of this moment when Topher Grace just magically appears and you're like, where did you come from? And then once Murph has her discovery and throws her papers out, like that was supposed to be a moment, and Topher Grace, there's a look on his face, it's just like, wait a minute. You just kissed me. We had chemistry? I wasn't aware. And why did you throw the papers out there? Is that some ritual I didn't know about? Again, it's just like Nolan trying to cover over seams in character and plot by putting a moment in there. It's like, I didn't notice the moment. I didn't know we were supposed to be having a moment. And then there's the rushed denouement. Again, stuff that should have been fixed in pre-production. If you're new to the channel, I like to rate things using my patented Emoticonomometer, which is, as the name suggests, a way to put into concrete Web 2.0 terms how something made me feel. How did Interstellar make me feel? Nolan is one of those anomalous directors who can somehow mess up so much for me personally as a viewer, but still send me away smiling. Because I like thinking about the movies that I watch, and almost invariably, Nolan has sent me away with an idea, this one idea that he was able to communicate, even amidst a mess of other ideas that didn't necessarily work for me. In The Prestige, it was a warning about how the mastery of one's art could mean death and destruction if it's treated as an obsession. In Inception, it was the hopeful belief that if art is done well, even when it's not true, can change minds and even possibly lives. And in Interstellar, it's the notion that there does exist a third path between dry, rationalized, scientific pragmatism and idealistic, selfless faith, which I'll go into in just a minute in the film nerdy stuff. And because I felt like Interstellar succeeded in communicating that one idea, in spite of all its flaws, Interstellar rockets right to the top of my Emoticonomometer with the shocked face. Now for the film nerdy stuff. Now I've only seen the movie once, so I could be getting some of this wrong. And if I am, then my whole theory is shot. But I'm just going with it. I don't have time to go back and watch the movie right now. There's a great emotional low-angle shot of the farmhouse shrinking into the background from the perspective of the driver's side door. Another mounted camera shot that mirrors that one's placement and direction on the Ranger, and it's facing the opposite direction. While the truck shot faces back and to the right, the Ranger shot faces forward and to the left. While this particular exterior shot of the Ranger is not the only one that we get, it is recurring and I do think it's intentional. Traditional cinematic direction says action should move left to right. But from the very beginning of Cooper's interstellar journey, he is moving right to left, leaving the farmhouse in the back to the right and going off into the Ranger into space to the left. He's going the wrong way and he needs to come back. And notice when he is entering the black holes in Explorer, he's going from left to right. The explorer who dreamed about getting out there amongst the stars realizes once he finally reaches his goal that the real explorer, whom the Earth, not just Gotham, needs, is one who will come back into the right and then dive between the two into the black hole, a paradox where time and place cease to exist in the dimensions as we understand them. And say what you will about what he finds within, but weren't you with him? Weren't you feeling like we are about to go where no one has gone before? Because I was. And that's what science fiction is supposed to do. It's supposed to make us look at the God in the gaps, to long for these things that we can't understand, to stare the black hole in the face and say, I'm coming in there to find out what's truly there. And the black hole, as depicted here, really is the third path between rational, self-interested pragmatism and optimistic, self-denying belief. Subsisting is not good enough. Surviving is not good enough. We have to explore explore as humans, but we have to find a way to do so while keeping love and hope forefront so that ruthless pragmatism doesn't rob us of our humanity. That is the third path Nolan is trying to communicate with his screen direction, and that is the third path I think that the Nolans are trying to communicate with their story. So how does Interstellar fare in comparison to the rest of Nolan's work? In my purely scientific, totally not subjective, rational opinion, here's my list. Number 9, Following. Number 8, Insomnia. Number 7, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 6, Inception. Number 5, Batman Begins. Number 4, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 3, Interstellar. Number 2, The Prestige. And number 1, Memento. It is difficult to write a movie better than Memento. Very focused. And so I just wish, I'm begging you, Nolan brothers, please. I ask you, just give us an hour and 50-minute movie next time. Just an hour and 42-minute movie. Let's see what you can do with an hour and 42 minutes, because I think you can do something brilliant. If you'll give yourself that constraint, it'll weed out some of these extraneous ideas that are cool ideas, but probably deserve their own movie. What about you? Let us know in the comments your thoughts about Interstellar and where it fits in comparison to Nolan's body of work. Should I do more of these types of reviews? And if so, what should I do a review of? I'm not going to be one of those people who's going to post a review the week of or the week after a movie. I just don't have time making my own stuff. So I'll probably do one a month. So if there's a film that has an international sort of flavor or has a lot of international buzz, let me know and I'll do one of these kind of more in-depth analyses, reviews, things, and why the movie means something to me. So for me, Interstellar worked. What about you? So please let me know, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You may have wondered what do I love? Well, I love deli, and right now our family is doing a coffee and deli special in our American Indian series. This whole month we've dedicated to coffee and deli. We've done 2 parts of our coffee and deli episode already uploaded, and tomorrow part 3 uploads. Click here for the playlist to see 2 of those 3. My wife is hosting it, so you get to see her prettier face. Until next time, keep it creative, keep it cross-cultural, and keep it constructive, YouTube. Thank you very much.